Gentlemen, I bring to you, unless I'm just derailing the question that Anth had and being selfish, but I bring to you the schedule. It's the schedule. I'm bringing up the schedule because there's a couple things I want to go over.
Okay, let's do it. The Cowboys still somehow have two primetime games. They have a Monday nighter and a Sunday nighter in the next 5 games. Guaranteed, unless Cowboys are facing Washington in some crazy fucking way that they're fighting for the playoffs. That would maybe be a primetime game, but it's insane to know that this team has two more primetime games.
Okay, well, the first thing I want to bring to the table, and we don't dwell on this because I do want to get to Cincinnati, and this maybe is a little preemptive, but let's just calculate real quick. Cowboys have a chance to beat Cincinnati. Cowboys have a good chance of beating Carolina. Tampa Bay and Philadelphia are those 2 games that the Cowboys could lose to, and then they could beat Washington. They've done it before, especially if Washington's already in the playoffs by week 18. Playoffs. But by the looks of it, Washington is going to have to be fighting for that spot, fighting that week. But let's just say the Cowboys finish 3-2. At best, they could probably finish 4-1. And at ultra best, they could run the gambit and have a great game against Philadelphia and potentially beat Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is not an unbeatable team. They're just of that group.
Right.
And I'm only saying Bengals because Bengals have been going through a rough spell.
Yeah, they're 4-8.
Losing games, but allowing a lot of points.
Terrible defense.
And it looks like if Dowdle continues to be this guy, 86 yards against Washington, 112 yards against New York with his first touchdown, a nice double dinger for Dowdle.
And first 100-yard game.
Yep.
He's never rushed for 100 yards. And that's the first Cowboys 100-yard rusher in like
20-something
games.
Oh, my goodness.
How fucked up is that? Tony Pollard didn't have a 100-yard rushing game
Had a lot of 100-yard
scrimmage yards.
But
it's just, when you think about that, when you heard that the Cowboys didn't have a 100-yard rusher last year,
that's wild.
Kind of perplexed a little bit.
Well, I'm glad that trend is broken. But do you know what I'm getting at here? So that would lead us to being anywhere from 8 and 9, I guess? Or no, I'm doing bad math. Help me out here.
You said 3-2.
3-2.
Kind of what you were figuring. So 3-2, yeah, 8 and 9.
8 and 9 or
10 and 7.
10 and 7.
Which I
10 and 7's.
Could you also see them being 7 and 10? I could see them losing to Cincy, Tampa, Philadelphia, and Washington.
I could see that too.
I could see them being 6 and 11.
I could see them losing to Carolina too. Throw them in the mix, okay? But I'm just building that scenario. I don't want to spend a lot of time on it, but there's a chance that the Cowboys get into the playoffs there.
Playoffs. I'll tell you this: if they go and beat the Bengals, even though they're 4-8, the Bengals have the ability to score 40 points on you. Joe Burrow's. I was listening to this stat about Joe Burrow, the way he's been playing with 30 touchdowns and his his EPA for touchdown passes. Every other quarterback that's been on this kind of pace, the lowest their record had been by the end of the season was 11-5.
But with the
same type of stats that Joe Burrow has right now.
What's their team?
They're 4-8.
They're 4-8. So
they're 4-8. They have a worse record than the Cowboys right now.
No, I know. So he can't hit that same type of record then.
No, it's impossible.
Yeah.
But that just shows that they're capable of putting up points, which is scary to me. So if they end up beating the Bengals, yeah, sure, it's only a 4-8 team. I'll start getting a little bit more excited.
Well, the Bengals started the season losing 3 straight to New England, KC, and Washington. Then they beat Carolina. Lost to Baltimore in overtime.
But put up a fight.
Put up a great fight, 41-38 game. And since the Washington game, aside from this New York and Cleveland game, they've been putting up steadily 30 points, 34
They've been putting up points, but you also look at who they've lost to. They've lost to Washington, Cowboys beat. They've also last week lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Granted, the Cowboys didn't beat the Pittsburgh Steelers when Danger Russ, the Danger Witch, Mr. Unlimited, was playing, so you can't really compare them. But you look at their wins, Carolina, New York, Cleveland, and Las Vegas. That doesn't scream scary. The issue is, if you had to bet on Cooper Rush beating Joe Burrow to the first team who scores 40, who are you betting on?
Oh, Joe Burrow.
Yeah, Joe Cool.
Be careful, though. It's spicy.
Although Cooper Rush head-to-head versus Joe Burrow, is 1-0
Well, and no one,
in the Vegas toenail game when I was in Vegas.
but no one is going to say if the Bengals go ahead and beat Cowboys on Monday Night Football. No one's going to say, "Oh, well, you didn't have your starting quarterback in." They're going
No.
to say your team sucks.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. And the
Cowboys suck, but the San Francisco 49ers are hitting adversity right now with
I know, so many
with
injuries.
just one of their players gone.
so many injuries for them. But the Bengals, their defense sucks. You can see that. My issue is, can the Cowboys can they capitalize on that? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. And I'm excited for it. It's cool that if the Cowboys do beat the Bengals and go to 6-7, well, we're right back to hype. We're right back to hype mode.
Hey,
We're right back to hype
I'm,
mode.
I'm in hype mode right now.
But how Cowboys would it be to beat the Bengals and lose to Carolina?
Massive
very.
Cowboys.
And this is the thing. If Cowboys beat Cincy and then go on to beat Carolina as they should,
They're fucking 500, baby.
now I'm back on that. Let's go for the fucking Super Bowl mode, because it's just like, I do think there's a chance the Cowboys can beat Philadelphia. It's the divisional rival. Philadelphia has looked maybe the best I've seen them be playing football.
I think
this
they
year.
beside them and the Lions are the best NFC teams right now.